Hello guys, Assalamu alaikum. Today we're reviewing this. This is the 2019 Toyota Land Cruiser Prado, and this is obviously the TX variant. Now let's just first talk about the key of the car. So this is what the key of the car looks like. It just says Land Cruiser on one side, and on the other side you have the button to lock and unlock the car, and you also have the button to unlock the trunk. Now let's talk about the engine. So obviously the engine holds the engine bay obviously holds itself in place, and so let's talk about the engine. So this is obviously a 2.7 liter straight 4 engine that produces 161 horsepower and 246 newton meters of torque, and this is obviously a dual VVTi engine. Let's just close this. Now let's talk about the front of the car. As you can see, this is the 4th generation of the car. This was actually launched in 2009 and it's been going on since the last 12 years. Toyota obviously have to launch a newer generation of this car, but obviously they're prolonging it because this car just sells so well. It is a Prado, so obviously everyone wants it. Now let's talk about the front of the car. This one actually has the Modelista body kit, as you can see. So generally, out of the factory, this car doesn't have that. Other than that, you can look at the car. It has obviously these chrome accents in the grille, and also this massive Toyota logo, and these headlights. Obviously they look so good. They obviously have such a sophisticated look and also somewhat aggressive, so obviously they make you look really good and classy. You also get these headlight washers. You also have a fender mirror. Now let's talk about the wheels. You have 18-inch alloy wheels, and personally I think they look really good. These are 12-spoke 18-inch wheels that look amazing. You can look at the side mirrors of this car. They are very big and also they look great. Let's talk about the side profile of this car. So this car obviously is very long. It has a length of 4,855 mm, which is obviously a lot, and also it is quite lengthy as well. You can see how high it is off the ground. It has the ground clearance of 175 mm, which is actually a lot. Let's come to the back of the car. Obviously from the back you can see these tail lights. I personally love the look of these. They look so good, and these also obviously have such a great look obviously over the previous facelift. This is actually the second facelift of the car. Personally I think the first facelift looked kind of ugly because it was just a bit too, I don't know what they were trying to make, but personally I think the second looked ugly. This one actually looks perfect in my opinion, and obviously the black accents and the light look great as well. Now let's talk about the storage of the car. So firstly you can also open the back glass so that you can put inside stuff that is obviously easy to handle. So obviously you can see you can just put stuff over here as well. And let's just open the whole fuel lid or the whole back door, and let's see how much space you've got. So you can see this is the amount of space you've got. This is actually a lot of space, and this is the 7-seater version. So all you have to do to just bring the seats back in place is just press this button over here, and you can see, oops, I think the car is switched off, so it won't happen, but we can do it later. This is how you open the third row seats. You just have to press this button, and you can see here it goes. It's obviously going to rise, and it obviously takes a lot of your storage capacity as well. So it is obviously when the seats are all the way up, there's not a lot left, but yes. Now this is obviously your full third row seat. It isn't very comfortable, but obviously for kids I think they would understand and be comfortable over here. But you also get the power socket over here to obviously plug in a fridge or something if you're going on a long trip. Also you have this massive chrome accent at the back as well. Obviously with the body kit you have a black accent in the rear bumper as well, and personally I think that looks amazing. Coming to the side of the car, the side profile of this car actually looks so good. Obviously it's very minimalistic, so I think it looks better obviously as compared to the older Prados that just looked very exotic. I don't think that an off-road vehicle would need to look very exotic. So let me just give you another walk around of the car, then we can hop inside. Alright, so let's just let's just sit in the back seat. So obviously, to get into the third row seats, all you have to do is just press this latch and then this. So this obviously doesn't fold all the way down, because obviously this was so that if there is a baby seat, you don't have to remove it. You can just do it with just by folding the seat halfway. So obviously getting back into these seats is actually really a mess. I've done that obviously a few days ago, since one of my relatives owned this car, and I think it was a very disastrous decision, considering how uncomfortable these seats are at the back. Now, I mean, personally, I think kids would be okay with that, but for me, who is 6'1", I think that is a really big struggle that you have to make to obviously get in the back seat of the car. Now let's talk about the second row seats. So I think I am 6'1", and you can look at the knee space I've got. You've also got carvings over here, so that you have more than enough leg room. Obviously there is a small hump in the middle, so obviously when you're sitting with 3 people behind, so obviously this hump can be a very big problem for you guys. But without that, I think this car has somewhat, I would say, cramped second row seats, because obviously with 3 people you might end up becoming uncomfortable. So I think this car, obviously the front 2 seats are perfect for 2 adults, 4 adults and a child. If there are 3 adults sitting in the second row seats, then I think you would obviously become a bit uncomfortable, but it still does the job. Now let's talk about the armrest. There is an armrest in the second row seats, and obviously you have these cup holders, and obviously popping them is kind of satisfying as well. And obviously these are actually decently sized as well, and you can adjust them according to the size of your bottle, which obviously is an important feature. A lot of these cars lack this feature, and personally I've also suffered from these. So yeah, now let's talk about the door. You also have space to put a water bottle inside, also other stuff that you might want to need. There you also have this net in front, behind the back seat, and it is obviously adjustable as well, so you can put in stuff over here. And I think it has a lot of room to stretch, so I think you can put in a lot of stuff. There is also a lot of piano black treatment inside the car. You also get these AC vents in the back, but there are no AC vents for the third row seats, which is obviously surprising to see, considering this car is just from 2019. Now let's hop into the front seat and talk about the front row seats, and obviously then we'll take it out on a drive. So getting inside the front seats, and so obviously to start the car, all you have to do is put your foot on the brake and press the engine start-stop button, which is located on the right hand side of the car. Obviously to unlock the trunk, there is this latch in the driver's footwell. To unlock the fuel door, there is also this latch in the driver's footwell. You also have this button to adjust the light in the tachometer. You also have this button to turn on your automatically adjustable headlights, and also this to turn on the headlight washers. You also have this button on the right hand side to control your retractable mirrors. On the door there's not a lot. You just have the controls to lock and unlock your car, and also to control the windows. Obviously on the steering looks really good. It is obviously from the LC200, and it feels really good. Obviously the stitching on it is leather. It feels great, and personally for me, I've used this car for a while now, so the biggest problem for me is obviously this volume control button, and this is just, I think it is a bit impractical to just turning the volume by one bit. You have to press the button all the way up and repeatedly, so I think it becomes a bit of an issue when you drive it a lot. But then again, I think it is something that you can adjust yourself to. Obviously you have all the other kind of controls. You have obviously this button to keep a gap from the car in front when you're going on a cruise. You have the cruise controls on this side, and on the steering, and obviously on the steering column you just have the headlight button, and then you have the button for the obviously the windscreen wipers as well. You have a button for to turn on the parking assist on this side. Let's talk about the screen. So this screen is actually personally I don't think this is the one from Toyota, but obviously this is very easy to use and also very convenient to use. Also, I think the only problem I've encountered with this is that this sometimes hangs for me, but other than that I think it is very convenient to use. Obviously very easy to go through apps. The touch is very responsive as well, but obviously looking at the car, obviously this screen not respond was obviously a bit surprising, but other than that I think it has been very good. And now let's talk about the climate control. So obviously you have the warning light button, also have a very conventional climate control. You have dual zone climate control for the front two seats. There is no individual climate control for the rear seats. There are no AC vents in the third row seats, so obviously it makes sense. And it is also obviously quite basic, but obviously very easy to use. You also have storage space over here right under the climate control vents. There is also cup holders over here in front of the gear. You also have this space to put your car keys in. You also have a power socket over here, and this is obviously a blank button because this is a TX variant. You also have your heated seats over here. You also have a normal handbrake. You also have the button for the traction control. You have the button for your what would you say? I forgot what it's called. It's called your 4x4 or something like that. And then you have the button for the second start. The second start is basically just starting your car in second gear. So obviously this is to reduce wheel spin if you're off-roading or something like that. Other than that, you have this very good and very obviously neat looking bamboo wood looking trim, and you obviously have a glove box under that, and it has a lot of space as well. And then let's talk about the seats. The seats are obviously very comfortable, and they also hold you in place very well, and they obviously give off a very good look as well. You also have a sunroof in this variant, and you also have visor mirrors in both the sunshades. And other than that, I think it is a very good car. Obviously it costs around 2 crores, so I think it will obviously be a good car. Other than that, obviously there are not a lot of competitors for this car because this car is like in league of its own. And obviously in Pakistan you don't have a lot of options when you're buying new SUVs because there aren't any. Obviously you have the Fortuner. The Fortuner is nothing. Obviously it can't be compared to this car because the Fortuner is still very I'd say it is very cheap as compared to this car, and even then it doesn't have the quality to match this car because obviously this one is produced in Japan, the Fortuner is produced in Pakistan. So I think in comparison there is no comparison because this car is just miles above the miles ahead of that. Obviously this is a proper off-roader, and not a lot of off-roaders are in the market nowadays because people usually go for crossovers. So obviously companies are shifting their focus towards them. And other than that, I think it is a very good car. It is very comfortable to drive as well. Obviously with the off-roading ability, it also has the ability to go obviously locally. But obviously if you're obviously just thinking of using it locally, so I think this car won't be the best for you. This car is best for those obviously that have to go to their hometowns, usually in Pakistan. So you can use this car because this obviously has a lot of off-roading potential, and even then it is obviously very domesticated as well, but it is obviously massive as well. So for the size, if you're just thinking of driving it in the city, then I think this won't be the best car for you. You can just go for a crossover. And other than that, the fuel average of this car is around 8 to 10 when you're driving inside the city, and it's obviously over 12 and 14 when you're driving it in obviously on long routes. So other than that, I think this is a perfect car for those who want a car that they can obviously go on long trips as well, obviously because it is a Toyota. It is very reliable, and I'm sure that if you get this car, there won't be any problems for you in the future, especially when you go on long road trips and all, because this car is obviously very reliable. So I think that was the end of it. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and hopefully we'll send some more reviews your way.